Okay, there we are for the match number 1. I'm starting this league just now. I think this is a mulligan. We missed the black source and I think we have just 3 black cards in hand, so it's quite an obvious mulligan. Sometimes you keep more aggressive hand with just maybe 1 land and a preordain. I would have changed any card of this hand for a preordain, I would have kept. But like this, I think we can achieve a better game plan, especially because we are on the play. Okay, this hand is much better. I think we'll put back the Sablety and go with this. I'm thinking about putting back either the Sablety or the Preordain, but since we are on a mulligan, I'd rather put back the Sablety. I'm usually very conservative with my Preordains. I never cast it on turn 1. I am one of those people who cast Preordain on turn 3. Though I still want to achieve some cantrip action, so I'm actually gonna play Mysterium Forest on turn 1 to have the possibility of fetching the Survey land. My opponent didn't reveal Giganta, so I don't expect it to be either Storm or Boros. This means that maybe this Fatal Push is gonna stay in my hand. Okay. This land tapped might mean a lot of things. For now, I'm gonna just fetch a sewer, try to find a land on top. I don't think I want another push. And I will just play the Psychic Frog. It might be a combo deck, or maybe it's just a mirror. Might also mean that's we are against a mirror. Okay. I expected it to be a combo deck that only play modal lands, so it's likely a mirror. Hopefully they don't play Fatal Push, they just play their Psychic Frog. Okay, they play Fatal Push, it's fine, I think. It sucks that we are on a mulligan, but I mean, I can accept it. So, the current list just play one Spell Pierce, so I'm gonna play my land, fetch an island, and cast Preordain, I think. I think I want to draw either like Archmage Charm is the best card I can think of. I think though I settle for a counter spell. I expect them to play like something like a Preordain, Consider in a step, maybe not. Okay. They're stuck on 2 lands, that's why they played this on turn 1. Makes sense. Though I think like I played a lot of mirrors of blue in my life, of blue tempo, let's put it this way, and I realized that being at 2 mana is better than being at 16 mana a lot of the time. So I think I'm gonna snare Devo Master just because I'd rather keep the counter spell for something better. They can force this if they want. Okay, now I'm gonna spell Pierce the Force. If they force again, I think I will let it resolve. Just because I want to have counterspell for a Murktide. They can like just draw fetch and play Murktide. So I think this is better. Or just a regular land. That also worked. Yeah, I'm gonna draw some water at this league. As I said, like Italy is very hot and I like to keep my body hydrated. I think here we are also looking for a charm. I can settle for an Orcish. I like Orcish because I don't have to waste my counterspell on their Orcish. I can just Orcish. I think I'm fine to play this and let them have a counter spell. Okay. Spells there was a worse trade. Okay, we have the Charm. Charm is probably the best card in the mirror besides any removal you play for a Murktide. So I think Charm is the best, then this. As interaction, of course, the best card is Murktide. If you have more Murktide than your opponent, it's likely that you win. So they might have another spell snare here. 8 spell snare versus spell pierce. How big is this? This is currently a 6/6. So I think I'm gonna play. Though they play 3 spell snare and 1 spell pierce, so I'm gonna charm it. They have nothing else though, so. Okay. I mean, at least the current list plays the split I said, so it's fine. It's fine. We had a decision. We picked the wrong thing. I think I'm gonna pay 6 now. Okay. Just checking how many forces are left. Usually 1. I'm sad that we used the charm, but I think it was fine. And that's why I don't like Dark Zerixure too much. Also, I use the charm. This means that if I draw my Murktide, I can just play counterspell. Because I didn't... I wasn't achieving a land. Okay, how many counter do we think they have? I think they likely have 1 counter, and they also might have Sablety, but I'm fine letting them use the resources. It's not that this game goes better if we wait. So let's just play Murktide as 8/8. Probably counterspell their counterspell. They might have the snare they didn't use before. Okay. And like as I said, like Murktide is really tough to beat in mirror. So let's see if they have like another bounce spell or something else. They put 1 card on top though. Preordain, okay. Sure. Also, them being at 16 is great because I can just attack twice. Five Murktide, okay. Ooh. Okay, I think I will do sorcery speed things and just play the second Murktide as 6/6. I can even delve 1 less, like I don't have to hold up push. As I said, like Murktide is just incredible in mirror. If you see more Murktide than your opponent, it's likely that you win at least game 1, then game 2 and 3 they're a bit more graveyard dependent. Yes. And also, as I said, like my opponent started with a bit of mana screw, but then played a lot of their spells. I'm not sure. They really went behind on cards with the force just to counter a Bowmaster. I'm not sure that was a good play, but besides that, I also top decked the Deluge after they played Murktide. That was a huge top deck. because like Deluge is the only way I have in my deck to deal with the Murktide. I mean, I also have to sync too, so just I have three ways. But for sideboard, of course, you tend to cut these. You don't really care about the board, and being a free mana is a bit clunky. I think I'm interested in Narset because this deck, as I said, it plays 7 cantrips, and also some versions play Deep Analysis and discard completely blanks it. I think I want Double Dispute, Subtlety, Scolding. Scolding is fine because it toggles both Psychic Frog and Bowmaster. Of course, doesn't deal with the Murky, but I think it's fine. And the last card is Hearse. Cutting with this deck is always strange. We already cut the Deluge. I think I want to cut the Force of Negation because, as I said, I never want to get behind on cards, and there aren't any cards that really needs to be resolved. Maybe the only one is Hearse, but we have free spells nerf for it. I also like to cut Spell Pierce because for how I play, I like to play longer games, and Spell Pierce gets outdated fast. So I get that sometimes is good, but I think the games are more swingy towards creatures, so Spell Snare is not great. I'd rather have like, sorry, Spell Pierce is not great. I'd rather have a free spell Snare. And as a last card, I like to cut. It's always difficult to cut Consider or Preordain. I think I'm gonna cut Consider because I think Consider is just a worse cantrip than Preordain. We are cutting a cantrip because it's a Bowmaster mirror, so I'm not even sure like Consider is great being an instant because my opponent can always respond by playing Bowmaster. So I think this is just worse than Preordain in this matchup. Also, I think that you tend to cut Consider a lot. Okay, let's go to the game, second game. This is a Mulligan, of course. Would have been a decent keep. Maybe I would have Mulligan anyway with 1 land, probably. But with 2 lands would have been a decent keep, of course. This is Fanta Magic, so weren't even talking. Okay. I think this hand is interesting because it looks terrible and it's not great. Though I think we keep because we have 2 surveillance, and then we have an interaction for the turn 1 frog, for the turn 2 frog, and eventually we have a Wincon. So I think this hand has a lot of upsides, and of course a lot of downsides. I don't think going to 5 though helps my position, so I'd rather keep this hand. Also, another upside of this hand is we don't get hit by Moonmaster too much. I'm thinking if having an extra fetch is better because we have Murktide, so I think we'll keep the fetch. Let's see how this game develops. Also, another thing you have to keep in mind when playing this deck, when playing a mirror of this deck, is a lot of the times the games tend to go slow, and you play a lot of cantripping before playing a threat. Is not that you slam a threat on turn 2, so I think it's fine to keep a bit of slower hands. I see like Wafo Tapa and blue white control aficionados playing.
Bon, on enlève la caméra, donc c'est vrai, donc là, c'est des mecs, voilà, ils sont des matos, des trucs comme ça.
I was saying, I know that like in control mirror you can keep like 6 land Teferi, so it's fine. Okay, so I'm streaming in the Discord too, and someone was talking. So actually, if you're watching this, make sure to check my Patreon because this league is being streamed in Discord, and you can immediately interact with me or ask me question, and Also, the Patreon is the best way to support me and this content. So um, just check it out. I think it's great what we are doing. But back to the game. My opponent fetched again in the end step. I think we are starting to achieve good ends. Do I want to counterspell these? I don't think so. Like I'm never a fan of counterspelling the spell bomb. I think it's fine because at some point I will draw a card. Fine. I'm not even sure I want to fetch the surveillance now. Though I think it's fine because I want to draw like an interaction or something. But it wasn't even mandatory at this point. Psychic Frog. Um. What type of game we want to play? I think I'm usually very good at playing tempo control games. Um, so one of the amazing thing you can do with this deck is you can decide your play pattern based on your skill in the matchup. It's not that you have to do mandatory plays. So I think, and also like this deck is really tough to play for this because you have to be incoherent with your game plan. You have to stick to some decisions and just go with those. I think I like to keep the frog on top though because it's a threat and it's not like you can't really spell bomb this. Though if we put this on in graveyard, we can play a Murktide next turn. I don't think it's a great Murktide because it's just 3/3, but we can dispute the counterspell. Okay, let's keep this on top and just go with the flow. I think I'm gonna play Island now because I want the extra land in the graveyard. I think it would be interesting if my opponent kept a similar hand than me, like 5 lands, Murktide. Wow. When they do like this, just I play land pass 100%. They just lost 3 life and one of the best cards in the mirror for nothing. So I like to time walk them, and it also means that maybe they don't have another land. So they either play like Bowmaster and some counter spells, or they just pass. I mean, if they flash a ability, I would be amazed. Okay, this was 100% the draw. Okay, I think we can wait one more turn to see what happens. I'm not fetching because I can push a ability eventually. Just fetch island, push ability. Archmage's Charm. I think I want to dispute it. Sure. Now the game is a bit complicated now. With Roland, less complicated. I'm thinking about just jamming the frog rather than holding double counterspell. The problem of frog in mirror is just dies to push, so For now, I think we can still wait until we have a better knowing on what's going on. Okay, my opponent exile my graveyard. That's interesting. And plays a Bowmaster. I think it's fine. I'm probably going to use my long goodbye on this just because this costs 2, so... yeah. Also, this being uncounterable might like, this is usually very strong to kill Frog with 1 up. Yeah, I will do that, Charles. It was a good suggestion. Now, do I want to play the Frog or not? I still think we can wait. Though if they play another Bowmaster, I want to counter. I'm thinking about this push. I think now I can push this, just because I can scolding another Bowmaster. I think it's fine. This is the last land I play, I think. For now on, all the other lands become Frog fodder. I think my Murktide is the same size as their Murktide, so I think it's fine to counterspell this. Unless they like force. I expect them to have like at least 1 Murktide in hand. They pass. This means they likely have more counter spells and probably push, meaning this Frog is not great. Not sure I want to trade Frog for a push. I think at some point we will, but I'd rather wait to draw an Orcish or something like that. I'm not sure this is the right game plan, but since my opponent is not doing anything, I feel I can wait. They already used to Orcish, so I still have to draw 4. It really depends on the card advantage my opponent plays, of course. Also remember that we can always play the island at some point. It's not mandatory that we had it in hand. And we have this delta to eventually draw 2. I think it's fine. Now we are more worried about countering creatures. They also got 9 cards now, unless they draw an Orcish. So they go to discard if they don't play threats. Eight, so I think that's it. Just draw Sink into Stupor. Preordain, okay, let's preordain the Sink into Stupor. Or just, I think another counterspell is also great. A third Murktide. I don't think we are particularly interested, also because I expect them to have at least a Sabbati. So I think now we play both, right? So I should have made this 6-6 actually. I just I thought I had 5. This was completely on me. Sablety, sure. I think we'll fetch anyway. We can fetch it now. Go to 12. The pitch of preordain. Yeah, I think I will keep these on top still. And play the other Murktide. I'm thinking if I should take 2 damage or not. Probably yes. So the next Murktide costs 1 less. Maybe not. I can even discard with Frog, so it's not a problem. If they have the 4th counter spell, they used 3 already. Okay, their Murktide is bigger, but I have a way. I really expect them to have yeah, push. Yeah. So I accept that I'm dead to a bounce spell. That's mostly it, like nothing else matters. A frog would be annoying, but we can deal with the frog. I think the Ren is like stuck, like some strange counters, like Pierce and Snare, because we know that Surveil appears on turn 1, and the card was never active. Getting frisky. Okay, well, attack. They are forced to trade here, I think. Yes. Fine. We can pay for a dispute, so I don't need to play the island. We can just bluff we have something. I don't think they have Sabrity, otherwise I would have just played that sorcery speed to make sure you block. I think now if they play either Frog or Murktide, it's a top deck, so... Okay, I asked my opponent to show the hand, but maybe they already left. Would be interesting to see if my guesses were correct. Yeah, I think I just played the game plan I really wanted to play, and I kind of made probably the right calls. I think navigating the mirror is really interesting, beautiful, but also very tough. So I just played the frog in the really, like, just when I really needed the effect, and I think it paid rather than just jamming it to a random push. Same for the management of the lands. So I'm really satisfied. Like the one of the beauty of this deck, one of the big upside is when you win, you really feel super satisfied because you really feel a powerful wizard, and that's what Magic should be about, right? So was the end of round 1. Now we can just play another match.